If there's a place in your heart for a tourist who's gone missing or an animal who's lost his job due to a machine, then keep listening. In the late 1970s, Mayor Ed Koch had a plan to release wild wolves into train yards in an effort to stop graffiti artists from tagging the subway cars.
Put in wolves.
Unfortunately, the plan didn't work.
Frighten the public.
Since then, wolf packs have survived and even thrived in New York's labyrinth of tunnels, emerging in local parks only on occasion to hunt in the moonlight for live prey. In fact, the NYPD chalks up the majority of missing tourist reports each year to the city's subterranean canine inhabitants.
When I was a young cop, back in the day, some of the guys jokingly would say, "You better carry some silver bullets if you're in this neighborhood."
Today, the Ed Koch Wolf Foundation, in partnership with the New York City Fellowship, is erecting monuments in city parks to serve as cautionary reminders to out-of-state visitors. So get involved. To make a small donation or to volunteer, visit www.edkochwolffoundation.com.
Exactly.
Hey, what's happening? We are breezing through hour 2 right here on a Freaky Friday on Liquid Lunch on NEWSMAX TV. We're in the Question Tequila Studios, and things are about to get even more freaky. The Dow is down almost 200 points, down about 180. It is a thin day of trading on a Friday. There are some Jewish holidays being observed on Monday and Tuesday, so I wouldn't get crazy. Namaste, it's the weekend. Have a nice weekend. Have a drink. Look at everything next Wednesday and see where we're at. And Bitcoin is down about 150 today. Did dip under that 8,000 plateau. Caused me to think there was a buying opportunity, but don't take financial advice from me. Educate yourself. Make yourself aware of what's happening. See if it's suitable for you. Be prepared to lose every penny. And if you don't do what Leonard Kim talks about in his new book, Ditch the Act, you might as well let your company go to zero. Because most people, and you talk about it in your book here, Leonard, thanks for joining us for a Liquid Lunch first.
Thank you for having me.
Mint jacket.
Oh, thanks.
The little boom.
Got
Nice,
the
the
blue.
blue in there.
Now this is the wardrobe of a man with very sound mental health.
Yeah, he must be sane. Welcome to our jungle.
Thank you.
You're looking great, but a lot of you talk about in your book, Ditch the Act. Everybody tries to go out there and put on these airs like, "Oh, I'm Mr. Businessman," and the GDP for the second quarter.
Yeah.
And you say, and I agree with you wholeheartedly, if you want to get big and you want your company to succeed, you got to put yourself out there, not this act, right?
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
So a lot of people, what they do is they say, "I'm number one. I'm the very best at what I do." But this has been what people have been doing for the last 15, 20 years. And then you have Tony Robbins, Gabby Bernstein, and all these other big people. They're actually the best. But then now when we go and emulate that, we kind of blend in. And we kind of get lost in the mix. It's like, okay, so if everyone's saying that they're the best, but I've never heard of you and you're saying that you're the best, are you really even the best? So what we really do in this thing is we bring out the real you, and that's the good, the bad, and your version of the ugly. And the reason we want to kind of lead with the ugly is a lot of people are really scared of that because they're like, oh, I don't want to talk about my divorce. I don't want to talk about losing my home. I don't want to talk about a failed business. But if we think
John's
about
under legal restrictions.
Yeah, I can't talk about any of that. Okay.
okay, we won't talk about
any
yours.
reproduction or rebroadcast of this telecast without the express written consent of Major League Baseball is strictly prohibited. But as you can see, the show is called John Tobacco's Liquid Lunch.
Yeah.
So I'm already a follower of yours because I put the ugly right out there in the front. You know what I mean? But then again, some people say I'm the eye candy and Frank's the brains of the operation.
That's right.
Oh, is that how it works?
Yeah,
I thought it was the other way around. Leonard, let me ask you about this. The reason, first of all, I appreciate you bringing 2 complimentary copies of
we
your
got
books.
2.
That's doubled Joey Kidney's effort
That's
because
right.
he brought us 1.
That's right. Nico Romano better bring us some books now.
It's going to be 3.
Exactly. Leonard, I'm eager to read your book because you have such a compelling personal story yourself. Back not long ago, only about 9 years ago, you stopped paying your electric bill. You were showering in the dark. Tell me what happened with your life after that.
So one of the things that happened is at that point I was so embarrassed about telling others what was going on. I'm like, life is perfect, life is great. And then everything in my personal life was just falling apart more and more and more. One day I opened up to my friend, Josh Shelton. I'm like, hey, you know what? I gotta be real. I'm losing everything. And I was
pretty close to being homeless.
Yeah. And when I opened up to him, like I wanted to hide it. I was scared. I thought he would like mock me, ridicule me, call me like a loser, or just, dismiss me as a friend. Instead, he showed me compassion, empathy. He picked me up in my troubling times and like took me out. We went salsa dancing. He showed me a good time. And he was there and supporting me as a friend. As I kind of compounded that through the years and started sharing these stories online, what ended up happening is within 6 months of writing, I had 2 million reads on my content. In a year and a half, 10 million. Then it just compounded to like media features, showing up here, having this book, and all this other crazy stuff.
So let me ask you this. Joey Kidney there, Canadian.
Yeah.
Leonard Kim, American.
Yeah.
Okay, he brings us 1 book, and he committed to giving us 1 retweet to like his audience. You brought us 2 books, and we're all American.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking exponentially we should get 4
well,
retweets
you're not
from
going
you.
to just get 4 retweets. You're going to have the segment probably be on my website.
Yeah.
Probably be on the
well,
book website.
we need help. We need help.
We're going to be lifting each other up because that's what we do.
And you know what? I'm joking around with Joey Kidney because I like him, and I don't see many young kids like you guys trying to do good things with social media and teach younger people. But I could see a way where, to me, ditch the act and what's Joey's over here again? What's the rush? They have those short millennial terms, probably like you said, maybe not chosen directly, but you guys tell stories to younger people, and that maybe there's something between the two of you. Maybe people with mental health have to ditch the act of making like they don't have a problem.
Yeah, you know, the hardest thing is, let's say you have this mental health problem. You're stuck in this box. You think you're the only one who's...
You talk about this in the book. Yeah. It's not like I'm gratuitously promoting Joey Kidney. Yeah. You talk about mental health in your book, Ditch the Act.
And you feel like you're the only one who goes through it. We all feel like we're the only one. If you have a divorce, if you can't have a kid, whatever it is, you're losing your house, you're like, oh, I'm the only one who feels this way. Then you feel all alone. Then you go and you have all these problems like anxiety attacks, panic attacks, when you can share.
So you are an award-winning marketer.
Yeah.
We have a lot of business folks that watch this program. What mistake do most businesses make when it comes to marketing either their business or their own personal brand? And give us a couple of tidbits that they're going to learn and Ditch the Act about how they can get ahead in marketing.
So number one is the companies. If you don't lead with yourself and the people who are working at your company, that's the biggest mistake you're making. So let's take those legacy brands, IBM, Cisco, companies like that. Like, I still think IBM makes computers. That's because their branding makes it think that way. But then now they're doing AI and all this crazy technology, just like Cisco. But how are you ever going to know that if you have that brand stuck in your mind? So the biggest mistake is they're not leading with the people. So now you move on to the next step. You realize you need to lead with the people. So once you go out there and build those personal brands, you can't be just stuck up in a suit, just going in an office and everything, saying that you're the best at what you do.
I try to do that every day.
Well, I mean, your suit looks amazing. You got all this on you. It looks like Versace.
I'm all discombobulated today, but you know, I try to stand out on TV. My partner gets up at 3 in the morning, so he gets dressed in the dark. That's his excuse.
Literally, and that's not because I wasn't paying the electric bill like you weren't. But, you have one piece of advice, the one theme that you keep coming back to throughout your book is be human.
Yeah.
I mean, we're all human. What does that mean?
So I guess in society, what's kind of happened is we went from your generation keeping up with the Joneses, and we moved to my generation, and it was kind of like keeping up with the Kardashians. Who's got the coolest life? We're all bragging to each other. We're all saying we're number one at what we do. But are we really number one? We should really be focusing on who we are as real people. What's our hobbies? What's our interests? What's our shortcomings? Who are we as human beings? We're all accustomed to sharing just the good, but we gotta share that bad and ugly too. And I think you guys do this like a great job on the show, because what you're doing is you're showcasing your real personality.
That's
you're
right.
joking around, you're funny, you're drinking.
We let the audience, we let that, oh, he wants to drink, okay. Should we have a toast?
Yeah,
we should have
We'll
one.
drink to ditching the act and being human.
One of our favorite sponsors, our number one sponsor, who had the nerve to back us right from the beginning, is Question Tequila.
Now we gotta represent
This is a
Question.
special Question made in Mexico.
This desk is actually supposed to be like
this desk is a
Question
replica
bottle.
of a Question bottle, or as close as we can get it with a modest budget.
Yes.
I see the
But
question mark.
we have a sip
Exactly.
here and there, and some people we don't like them. This is a 5-year reserve. You know what I mean? If we don't like them, then we don't give them a drink. We just make we just let them sit there, dry mouth. But
Makes sense.
you're a cool cat. We should have gave Kidney a drink because he was pretty cool too. But
Well, he might be sensitive about kidney issues. Who knows?
yeah,
But,
maybe that's right. Maybe he has kidney issues.
Leonard, let me ask you finally. You have some advice for folks in this book about building relationships that are going to help them get where they want to go. How do you know whether a relationship is going to lead you to where you want to go? Let's say somebody asks you out for lunch or something. How do you know if that's a waste of your time for an hour or if it's a relationship that actually can propel you to that next level?
Well, the basic thing you could do is just a quick research on a person to see exactly who you are. So let's say the chief operating officer of maybe a company like Morgan Stanley Europe were to go out there and contact you, and you're maybe working at an entry-level job, that's probably a golden opportunity. It just takes a quick Google search to realize who could really add value to your life and who's trying to go out there and take value from your life. So as someone who's gone out and grown over 500,000 social media followers, I get contacted all the time, and I have to kind of have that filter out there. It's like, who's real, who's not? And I have to go and research every single person. But if you're getting some major powerhouse like a Tony Robbins or some big name, that's probably a legitimate contact that you can move forward with, or if you're working with someone on your team. So just do a little quick research to see exactly who's out there in contact.
So your research led you to think that John would be somebody that would help build
Well, Frank
your-
got the NYPD today.
Absolutely.
Leonard got the Fire Department of New York,
Salute.
which is those are all
Chintown.
places we love.
Yeah, at times you gotta have some help doing the research for you, because if you're a one-man shop, it just becomes super overwhelming. So I got a lot of people working with me, like publicists and things like that.
All right.
All right, well, apparently they didn't do much research on the show. Because, they didn't know you were going to be drinking tequila and talking about your book. But you did a great job. And you know what I'm thinking? We're trying to make great television every day. One of our missions is to make television great again.
Yeah.
But we need guys like you and Kidney and those guys like... You feel the vibe we have going in the studio, right? We're talking to good people.
Yeah.
It's not only about politics, right? Maybe we do a contest or something. Like,
let's do it.
you versus Kidney, whoever can get the most views on your appearance today. And then,
And what do they win?
Well, I'll buy a certain amount of books from each of them that we'll give away. And whoever gets more, I'll buy double.
Cool. Let's
Does
do
that
it.
sound fair?
Yeah.
All right.
I wanna do
Is
that.
Kidney still in there or he left? He left?
We'll negotiate.
We're going to reach out to
Yeah.
Joey Kidney. We're going to see if we have to go through his consigliere, Joey Spleen. We may call him too. We were watching Liquid Lunch. Leonard Kim was awesome. So are you for being here all 2 hours on Friday. Coming back with some more right after this.